MVP favorite. I want America to get a really good understanding of what Lamar is doing right now, okay? Here's some numbers for everybody. In the last 2 weeks, Lamar has thrown for 536 yards and 7 touchdowns. He has run for 226 yards and 2 touchdowns. Okay? This is his 17-game season pace. These are the dumbest numbers in the world. His projection for 17 games, 5,600 yards, 68 touchdowns. I mean, those are video game numbers. He right now leads the NFL in touchdown passes. He's 4th in the NFL in rushing. He's accounting for 87% of the #1 in offense in the NFL. I mean, what he is doing, he won the MVP in 2019. He's playing better and doing more than he did that year. I picked Lamar before this season, and there's no reason that I don't believe that Lamar is going to be the MVP of the NFL come the end of the season.
Well, let me say this to you. He definitely is the leading candidate for league MVP honors. It is not Josh Allen. It is not Patrick Mahomes. But I got news for you. In terms of runaway, I'm going to throw somebody in the mix, Dan and Michael Irvin, I'd like y'all to remember. Jalen Hurts. Yeah. Jalen Hurts for the Philadelphia Eagles warrants consideration for league MVP honors if he continues to play this way. Jalen Hurts has been doing his thing, and his development has been incredibly impressive.
Sure.
Throwing that football, we know he can run with the football as well. Nobody can run with it like Lamar Jackson. But Jalen Hurts is a bona fide, big-time dual threat, and he continues to elevate his level of play. And the Philadelphia Eagles, dare I say, may end up being a better team than the Baltimore Ravens because they are stout defensively. They are showing you that they've got a defense to be reckoned with. And you're the Baltimore Ravens. You've got some work to do with that secondary, okay? So I look at it from that standpoint, and I find myself saying to myself, yes, Lamar Jackson is a stud. I'm worried as hell, Dan. Every time I see him running with the football and somebody diving at those legs, those ankles, those knees, I get very, very worried because I want him to get his money, and I don't want him to get hurt before he gets his money because everybody ain't Jerry Jones. That don't mean you're going to get paid that money if you end up getting yourself hurt by Bisciotti and the Baltimore Ravens. That's just me. But his play is sensational. He's bet on himself. He's teaching us, literally teaching us what courage is all about because he's taking this to another level, going out on that field, understanding the risk that he's taking and still performing to the degree that he's performing with. But Jalen Hurts is on a better team. And Jalen Hurts is balling, and he has improved dramatically. And I would tell you that even though he's not there where Lamar Jackson is in terms of MVP league MVP candidates, he is up there with a Josh Allen and others, everybody but Lamar Jackson. Jalen Hurts has arrived, and we all need to pay attention.
And you said something, Stephen A. You talked about, you know, the way he's throwing the ball and everything. I thought coming into this, you remember that first game? He rushed for 15, 16 yards, that first game. I was like, I thought you're not thinking about the contract. I need to know that you're still going to run hard so you're not worried about getting hurt so you can focus on the season, not the contract. I need to see you run some more, you know. But what he was saying is, I want you guys to see, even if I do get hurt running, that I can become a pocket passer. That's what's blowing my mind, the way he's throwing from the pocket. Now, these last couple games, he started running everywhere, so basically saying, Michael, shut your black butt up. I said, okay, I'm going to be quiet because he's absolutely being right. He's starting to run the football. He's not worried about all this stuff, especially after what went down in Miami. Now he's talking about winning and getting his team to the winning position. I absolutely love what he is doing because it does take courage to leave $200 million on the table knowing this is the way you play football and bet on yourself to change the whole game for everybody. He's changing it for everybody. Once he gets this guarantee, every quarterback is going to try to come and get a guarantee.
Just as an aside, I know you and Molly are brothers and sisters today. Army Brown with you and all of this.
Sean, you got Swagoo here. Dan is so excited about Lamar Jackson. He couldn't wait to get to his tapes. We're just going to start the show with
We got to call him Lamar plus. You got the Hulu plus commercials.
Yeah,
we got Lamar plus. Now, we're getting a little bit of like the traditional run game Lamar, right? The new age triple option, which I love, right? I can hand this ball off if I want. They got 6 guys in the box, not an option, so now it becomes a zone read off his defensive end. If he steps down, shoot, Lamar will take it himself. That's option number 2. So option number 3, if he stays inside, I kick the ball out to the tight end, lead blocker on the front. But This is where he's gone to the next level, connecting all the dots. Can you get through progressions in man-to-man? I love this, okay? Formation into the boundary, 4 strong. I'm going to speed motion to back. Does the defensive end or linebacker run with them? Step number 1. They did, so he's an X. Connect the dots to number 2. Shallow cross. He's covered. Connect the dot to number 3 in the deep cross. He's covered. Now connect the 4th dot. Everybody is vacated. Here comes Devin Duvernay on that man-to-man progression. Now listen, in man-to-man, and Keyshawn knows this, a lot of times it's like, I'm going to pick my guy and he's going to win because of it. Look at Lamar's eyes. 1, nope. Connect the dot. 2, that guy's not there either. Man, am I going to run out of the pocket? Nope. 3, something that's a little hop back to number 4. He's not just saying, I'm only going to throw at that guy because he's my best option. That is that different version of Lamar Jackson right now, and that is what he's doing better this year, candidly, than he's ever done in his NFL career.
Maturity. Every single year you're going to get better at, that Dan, they're going to break down the film in the offseason. He's going to go to the well. And now he has true receivers that are helping him out.
That's the point. You got
that
better
makes
players
a
around
big
him.
difference. Speaking of that, John Harbaugh spoke about Lamar and his playmakers today. Listen to this.
Yeah, definitely part of the equation for sure. There's no doubt about it, Cliff. He's putting the ball in good spots for him. He's holding the ball. He's got a lot of courage in the pocket, so he gives him another step or two sometimes to get open. All those things are big.
That helps. One of the big questions surrounding Lamar Jackson entering this season was, could he step up his play against the blitz? He's answered that quickly through 3 games this season, ranking 1st in the league in QBR, yards per attempt, and touchdown to interception ratio. That's after ranking bottom 10 in the league in all those same areas last season. Marcus, we all know the story, right? Lamar's bet on himself. He didn't end up negotiating a contract in the offseason. He said, fine, I'm going to just keep playing. No big deal for me. What stuck out to you so far out of him?
Intangibles, right? Like, we know Lamar is dealing with a contract, but Lamar knows as well. And giving him credit for not letting that influence him trying to do too much, he's just being Lamar. Right? I think he's going back to really just becoming more of a playmaker when things break down, as opposed to trying to stand there and prove that he can do it. Dan, that was such a great tape, because the natural progression of a quarterback that you see over long term, that's where you got to get to. But the legs, man.
Yeah.
Like that's the dominant part of Lamar Jackson's game when things break down around him, or when he's implemented into the QB run game. Forget the numbers, all right? I'm talking to you as a defensive player. Do you know how much plan you have to have for what Dan just showed, when one play gives you 3 options?
Yeah.
3 options off that play. And not only that, you dealing with a 4-3, 4-2, 40 running back in case something breaks down. So I think he's taking advantage of the full boat. Obviously, this team being healthy offensively than they were last year is starting to pay dividends. But Lamar has not only progressed when it comes to in the pocket, Lamar also has went back to, I think, his MVP season and said, when the play needs to be made, it's going to be me.
He's not forcing it
like
either, though.
Yeah.
He's not forcing I need to go be a playmaker. He's saying, okay, nothing else is there. Now I can. I think that's a little bit different
It's
as
the
well.
growth and maturity, like I said before. When you look at the quarterback position, he's young. He comes in, he's forced into the lineup behind Flacco. He does what he needs to do. Then he learns how to mature as a passer. Yeah. He's only gotten better. You can go 2 years ago, he was still ripping the football and doing those things. On the other end, they wasn't catching it, though. Now, all of a sudden, the receivers are catching it. They're doing their job. So it naturally makes everyone's eyes seem to think that he's doing something way different when he truly isn't.
That's fair. He's doing it better.
He's doing it better.
Yeah, and more efficiently. The question will become from the people, like Stephen A. is going to say, can you do it in the playoffs, right? How sustainable is this offense?
Fair.
That's a fair question.
Fair question.
Because, I remember sitting with Brandon Beane, the general manager of the Bills, and he said, usually when you get into the playoffs and it becomes your last game, you get exposed of what you don't do well. And the question will be, okay, first of all, J.K. Dobbins, healthy. Left tackle, are you healthy? And can the defense be complementary to their offense? The big question I will want answered for Lamar when they get into those playoffs, will you do the efficient or easy plays consistently?
Yeah.
That'll be the big question. Can you do in that moment? Because what teams are going to try to do as this season goes and into the playoffs is they'll try to take away those triple option plays. Or they'll try to take away some of the things that, instead of collapsing one of those defensive sides on the football field down, they'll just try to condense the pocket a little bit and really try to keep, easier said than done, but try to keep him in there. And will he do those really easy plays that for him are pointless in a way?
Let me say this, too. I think the conversation around Lamar has become very polarizing, right? Lamar Jackson is not above reproach or critique.
Sure.
He would say that, by the way.
Last year we talked about you are too careless with the football.
Yeah.
You got to fix that.
Try to do
right?
too much at
Trying
times.
to do too much. So as he continues to progress, we know, here's the deal. As you continue to play better, as you've already been a league MVP, the stakes raise and they get higher.
Sure.
Right? Just like we talk about Aaron. We don't judge Aaron Rodgers on winning regular season games anymore.
Right.
It's about what you're going to do when you get into the playoffs.
Right.
Lamar Jackson has entered that conversation. So for anybody out there, it is fair to ask, what will he be when the playoffs begin?
Right.
And the reason why the conversation changed around Josh Allen was because of Kansas City last year.
That's a great point.
That's why the reason. That's why.
And it's funny
changed.
because they didn't even win that game, but
Exactly.
because they got so close and you saw
And you knew he
dynamic
was good
play
enough to do it.
on the biggest
Yeah.
stage.